Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Empowered Fridays. Tell me, first of all, those of you who had a really good week, if you had a really good week, let me see those hearts go up. Let me see those hearts. Let me see them. Let me see them. You had a good week. Every week it's not the same. Sometimes we don't have weeks as good as others. So we're going to celebrate if you had a good week today. So good for you. So what I want to talk about today, I want to get into the DNA of achievers. 10 traits of highly successful professionals. When I wrote this book, I used to fly all over the world. And those of you that fly a lot know this. You get on the plane and you ask the person next to you, what do you do? And I kept seeing this common trait when I would ask someone, oh, what do you do? Or they ask me, what do you do? And some people would get very, very excited. And I learned that it would make the trip a lot faster. And I was hoping I'd find somebody that wanted to talk. That way it just made, for me, the trip faster. Now I'm a little different. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to do some work when I'm on the plane now. But when you met that person that was passionate about what they were doing, you could just see and hear the excitement. Have any of you experienced that? That you ask somebody what they do and they just go on and on full of excitement? Well, if you start looking and I start thinking, everybody or most people, not all, but most people were saying pretty much some of the same traits. Passion, work ethics, talk to do ratio, something I coined, leadership, building a team. And then I began to just start thinking about the friends and people that I knew and how they had those traits. Hopefully, I had those traits. And I thought, maybe I'll write a book. That was my first book, gratefully a #1 bestseller at Amazon, The DNA of Achievers. Trait 1 is passion. That thing that makes us excited. Some people say it's the fuel. It's the energy that keeps us motivated. For me, it's the thing also that I go to bed at night thinking about and excited for the next day. Any of you are that way? I'm still that way. I'm still, when I go to bed, I'm thinking about the next day and how I can't wait. I'm still in that stage of my life that I can't wait for the next day because I'm so excited about it. I can't wait for Empowered Fridays. Can't wait to do it. You can tell when someone's passionate about something. You can feel their energy. I talk to my students about energy. I could give you this presentation today and talk about how excited I am about Empowered Fridays with very little energy. Or I could have energy and say, I am extremely excited to be here today. That's what we mean by energy. A lot of you are lacking that energy that kind of lure us all to sleep instead of getting us motivated and excited. Man, if people don't see your excitement and what you're doing, if they don't see your excitement in it, then you can't expect them to be excited about it, right? But going back to passion, because the people that I've been around and had the opportunity to work with in the music industry and fashion industry and the beauty industry over 40 years, the people that were successful all were quite passionate and energized and excited about what they do. So when I wrote the DNA of Achievers, I didn't want to do all the talking, all the writing. And so in each chapter, I asked three friends of mine, what is your take on this chapter? So I just want to share with you today, Dr. Barbara Young. I had an opportunity when we were living in San Diego to meet Dr. Barbara Young. Let me just read a part of what she says about passion. There is a significant difference between leaders today, those who lead with their titles and those who lead with passion. Passion can be defined as an intense desire or enthusiasm for something. If you recognize that leadership starts with you, then you can apply the following to raise your level of passion. Leaders with passion first demonstrate what I call leading self, which is establishing ethics and integrity. The reality is that any leader can be passionate if he or she knows who they are. Why is this so important? Because knowing who you are is the first principle of leadership. What Dr. Barbara Young is telling us is passion and leadership. And we certainly will talk about leadership in more detail. But what I heard also was the enthusiasm that one has when they're passionate about something. You know, I remember just seeing my own kids growing up and seeing how when they were 8, 9 years old, actually even younger, you know, as a parent, we surrounded them with all the tools, but they kept migrating and going back to entertainment and music and singing and dancing. And I could tell it was their passion. Not mine, but their passion. So I ask you today, what is your passion? I want to take a minute for you to answer. What is my passion? Actually, I'd like for some of you just to write a few words. What's your passion? I can clearly tell you what my passion is. My passion is to educate and to motivate in certain areas. Health and wellness, entrepreneurship, academia, music business. Motivate people. That's my passion. I really enjoy motivating others and sharing information with others. So again, I ask, what is your passion? And how do you plan to get there? And by the way, let's be clear. Our passions change as we get older, as life shares different perspectives. We sometimes change our passion. So it's okay. And sometimes passions become hobbies. It's okay if you are not passionate about what you're doing today. It's a matter of asking yourself, what is my passion? And it's not what others want you to do. You know, in the classroom often I ask this question, and you know, my mother wanted me to be a doctor because she was a doctor. My dad wanted me to be an attorney because he was an attorney. But what is your passion is the question. What is your passion? And so when we look at this thing, passion, when we look at the word passion, it's not what others think of you. And passion sometimes is not an instant gratification. It's not microwave success. But if you're walking and living your passion, let me share with you, you will never, ever, ever work a day in your life when you walk in your passion. You know, what I do every day, that's why I'm excited. I have fun every day. I get to do Zoom calls all around the world. I get to problem solve. I get to share my failures and my successes. I'm excited every day. And so I'm not working. I'm doing that thing called passion. When you live your passion, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's why you see some in the music industry and corporate America and sports. You know, these people are so passionate of what they do. And so that takes us to the second trait, because when you're passionate, what coexists with passion, what coexists, work ethics. Because it's not work. So if it's not work, then I don't mind putting in a lot of time and energy into it because I'm living my passion. Makes sense, right? Coexist and coexistence with passion is work ethics. These folks don't mind putting in the time and the hours. They don't mind doing the things that make them great. Not good, but great. You find someone great, I assure you, they're extremely passionate about what they do. I remember when I was growing up, some people get determination confused with passion. When I was a kid, between the summers in college, I used to work at Goodyear, tire and rubber plant in Gaston, Alabama, and I was curing these flaps, and this rubber would be burning the heck out of you, and it would be like 500-600 degrees, little pieces of it. Was I passionate about that? No, it was a job. I was determined to do the best that I could do. I had that determination. My parents were determined to provide for their parents, to provide for their kids, rather. But I'm not sure that my dad was passionate about being that truck driver. So I just want you to understand determination sometimes gets confused with passion. And there is a difference in work ethics of determination versus work ethics of someone who's passionate. So I wanted to just start out by talking about those two things: passion, work ethics. And I want you to maybe over the next week, really ask yourself and sit down and let's talk about what that means to you. I've enjoyed today, Empowered Fridays. Boy, we had a tough week in some areas, didn't we? With this voters' rights and that not getting approved. COVID still on the rise. You know, we've had some really challenges this week, but overall, hopefully it was a great week for you. I'll see you next week. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.